So here we are back at the landing page, and I wanted to go through the syllabus in more detail and also show you the other buttons that I've enabled for your class. So let's go through the buttons first. We've looked at the home and the modules. I made a button here for the Math Center. So the Math Center, you have to click open a new tab, and then it takes you to the Math Center. And beginning Monday, the Math Center will be open for all these hours, and they should have tutors available to help you with all the things we're learning. They're really good with helping with the math, not always as good at helping with the interpretation part. So the next button is the Tutor Center, and sometimes the Tutor Center has tutors available to give you one-on-one help in a 50-minute appointment, and those will be via Zoom this semester. So their phone number is scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. And there's a phone number way down here that you can use to see if they have a tutor available and make an appointment. Then the other thing that's available to you is tutor.com. And a lot of students last semester found this super helpful. Sierra College has paid for you to have access to this. It's an outside company. There are real people that answer in real time and any time of the day or night. So that might be something that you find useful. So I made a button for it. Then you can go directly to discussion. So suppose you've already made your discussion post and you say, oh yeah, I need to go back and do my replies to my classmates. You can go directly to the discussion. So if you go on the modules, you have to go on the road and go through every step. But if you want to go directly to things, there's other ways to get there. And then I also created something I'm just going to call Student Hangout. And this is just somewhere where if you want to ask a question of your classmates or just say you're frustrated by something, is anybody else frustrated? And sometimes it helps to know that other people are struggling with the same things. Then your grades will always be up to date in Canvas. I'm really good about getting things graded and scores entered. So you'll see your scores for everything. So it's your job to check and make sure that whatever you thought should be your score is the score that you see recorded here, and let me know if there's any issues and I want to get them fixed. Then quizzes can also be accessed directly, just like discussion. So if you want to come back to the syllabus treasure hunt and you don't want to walk back through all the steps of the module, you can do that. And then conferences, this is where the Zoom conferences buttons will show up when they're ready. I don't usually pre-schedule them. I find it easier to just the morning of the class to create the Zoom meeting and send the link to everyone. So then Office 365 is if you don't have Office products already, you get free 5 copies of Office 365 by clicking there. So let me go back to the home page, and I want to look at the syllabus in more detail. So here's the syllabus, and I have the important dates right here at the top. When the semester begins, the add drop refund deadline, the last day to drop, and then when you need to withdraw if you don't want to grade. And I forgot one really important thing on the home page, so let me go back to it. View course calendar and the to-do list. So notice on the right here is your to-do list in order by due date. So the Canvas people are really trying to help you stay organized and look ahead and see what's coming up and is going to be due soon. And then if you want to see the whole calendar, you can view course calendar, and you'll see that already the things that I've made assignments about are showing up here on the calendar. And the cool thing is that when you are doing this, you can click on it and go right to the assignment from the calendar. So that's just another option that's available to you, is to get to assignments through the calendar. Okay, so back to the syllabus. It's created in a style called accordion, where these are the main headings, and then as you click on them, the rest of the information shows, so you can see kind of the main topics. So here's my contact information, and I'm really good about responding quickly. Some of the different ways you can get a hold of me are, here's an invitation to join the Remind Text app so that I can text the whole class easily. You have to sign up for it if you want to get text reminders for things. It's an app where you put your phone number in and I put my phone number in, but I don't have your number and you don't have mine. So a lot of high schools are using this now and just finding it really helpful. You can always email me at my Sierra College email address. You can send a Canvas message from inside Canvas. Over here, you'll see your inbox. Then I have a home phone that's a landline. You leave a message and I call back. And then I also now have a Google Voice number where you can call or text. So what do you need for the class? A textbook, a course pack, a prerequisite, internet access, time, a calculator, and graph paper. So a textbook is required for this class, and apparently they didn't like that I used the image of the textbook here, so I'll fix that. It's just a picture of the cover art so you can know you have the right textbook. But here's the ISBN number, and I shopped around a little bit, and the cheapest rent-a-digital text I found was about $55, and for buying was about $85. An older edition, this is the 12th edition, an older edition is very similar, but the exercises are not the same. So if you have an older edition, that's not really going to help with the homework. I've created a packet of notes for you, and they go along with the lecture videos, and you need to buy them from the bookstore. I made them into 2 volumes so you didn't have to buy all of them at once, and the first packet costs about $8.30. So the total cost is less than $20 for both parts. So it's pre-printed and comes with 3-hole punch so that you can put it in a binder, and hopefully they'll be really helpful for taking notes or kind of fill in the blank. The course does have the prerequisite that we discussed of algebra skills so that you're prepared for the calculus part of the class. And if algebra isn't your strongest subject, again, I really would urge you to sign up for the 24S or 824S. Love to see you there. So time commitment. I do expect that you'll budget at least 9 hours each week for working on this class. This is the expectation for every college class, really, that you spend 1 hour in the classroom and 2 hours outside the classroom for each unit. So this is the average amount of time for an average student to get an average grade. It may take you more time than that to earn the grade you want, so you need to kind of come into it deciding that you're going to do as much as it takes. For most students, this course is a lot of work. But if you decide from the beginning to work really hard, struggle to understand the material, and keep up with all the due dates, you're very likely to do well. You need a basic scientific calculator. If you don't already have one, I recommend this Casio FX300ES. It's about $11. Even if you do have a different scientific calculator, you may want to get the Casio. Students the last 2 semesters have told me it makes their calculations way easier. You can see everything on the screen exactly how it looks on the paper. So graphs must be done on graph paper, so please get graph paper right away. It would be nice if you had some by the first day of class on Tuesday. So if you need help, don't hesitate. I've showed you some of your help resources already. I'm going to try doing a student hour on Wednesdays from 10 to 11 p.m. I'll be available on Zoom. I find students often are working on homework late at night, and that's really late for me, but I'm going to try being available then and see if that's helpful for you. Then as part of the survey, I also asked when are other times that you would be available that would be times you could come see me. So if you need to turn in a quiz after the until date, contact me and we'll work that out. Please assume that I'm reasonable. I know we are in crazy times. So I already told you about the Math Center and the Tutor Center and tutor.com. Then course outcomes. This is something I'm required to put in the syllabus. It's the list that's on a curriculum document filed with the State Chancellor's Office that says, when you finish this class, these are the things that you're supposed to be able to do. So they're the things I'm responsible for teaching you. Then here's the serious business, I call it. The accommodations. If you need any kind of accommodations, I'm happy to work with you. I can help you with our process if you're not familiar with it. Then here's our Title IX policy. I'm what's called a mandated reporter. So if you tell me about any sexual harassment, sexual or domestic violence, or any kind of discrimination, I'm legally obligated to report it. So if you have an issue and you don't want me to report it, I can connect you with confidential resources, people who don't have that same reporting responsibility, to help you decide if you want to report. So these are some resources that are available to you. Then attendance is a little tricky. Please make a note of what my attendance policy is, because each of your teachers may have very different definitions of what is attendance. So you do need to attend, and how I've defined it as, I want you to submit at least half of the homework, complete and submit your quizzes by their due dates, contribute each week to the discussion board, and write in the journal each week. So if you aren't going to be able to get your attendance work completed, you need to communicate with me about that. Because if I don't see any work accomplished for 4 days or so, and I don't hear from you and you don't respond to my messages, I'm supposed to drop you for non-attendance. So I really hate to do that, but I will if I'm just getting no sense that you're still participating in the class. But you can always be reinstated by contacting me. So academic honesty is expected. Sure, it's easy to go to phone apps and internet websites and just get the answers to the homework problems. I will be looking at your handwritten work, and I want to make sure it looks like how I showed you how to do the problems. If you get help somewhere else, a lot of times it won't look the same, and it'll be really clear that you used an outside resource. So plagiarism is presenting as your own work that's not your own, whether it's from a website, tutor.com, last semester's papers that somebody passed on to you. So copying isn't going to help you learn. Identical papers receive a score of 0, so don't copy or let people copy. In the business world, ethics is such an important topic that you are going to be required to take an ethics course. It concerns an individual's moral judgments about right and wrong. So I will trust you unless you give me a reason not to. You get the benefit of the doubt. So then here's about your grade. So there'll be textbook homework assignments, something I'm calling shine quizzes. So happy it's not an exam. So those are big quizzes, and they're a chance to show me that you have incorporated the feedback that I've given you and you're improving your work product. Again, please let me know if the due dates aren't going to work for you, and we will work something out. So you're going to have discussion board topics. That'll be 5% of your grade. Quick quizzes. So quick quizzes are, if you complete and submit it, you get 2 points. And then I'll give you feedback. And if you incorporate that and resubmit it, you'll get an extra point. So they're worth up to 3 points. You can get 2 points by just turning it in, but then you can get an extra point if you take what I give you as notes for improvement and make those improvements. There'll be 4 tests, and the dates will be on the Canvas calendar, and they're on the schedule that I've already provided. So I'll go over that with you. So here's what I decided to do. Test 1 is worth 10% because you don't really know yet how I test, what I'm looking for, how I'm going to grade, and so I want that to be a less stressful test. Then test 2 is 15% because now you're going to be getting to know me a little better and knowing what I expect and be more confident. Then test 3 and test 4 will be 20% each. So they get worth more as I trust that you have figured out what it is that I'm expecting. Then you'll have your journal prompts. That will be 5% of your grade. Did you notice there's no final exam? I decided that for this course especially, all that really does is cause a lot of stress for you and me. There's no reason that we need a cumulative, comprehensive final exam where we go back over everything, because chances are good that you're not going to actually use the topics we've learned, but I want to make sure you've learned the skills that you're here to learn. So here's a chart showing all that information, and letter grades are assigned as traditional. So let me go back to the modules page and down to the bottom. And here's the schedule for the class. And you can either download it or it shows up here. And this is what I'll be talking about in the optional Zoom meetings. It's not what's due when, that you need to see Canvas for that. So it says on the first Zoom meeting, I'm just going to be talking about Canvas and Math 24 in general. I'll go through again all the chapters that we're going to talk about and what's in them. Then I'm going to start on Thursday talking about section 7.1, and then I dip back into section 2.4 because that's algebra that we need to do chapter 7 work. And then 7.2 and 7.3. And then the test dates are on this schedule. So September 15th, October 13th, November 10th, and then December 11th. So the tests are not going to be proctored. I haven't decided exactly what the format is going to be yet. I'll let you know as soon ahead of them as I can. And I really, really want people to not be anxious about tests. So I'll do all I can to make it a comfortable experience for you. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I am so happy to answer questions. This is a lot of information, so you may need to watch it twice or just go into Canvas and poke around. So I hope to see you at the Zoom meeting on Tuesday.